It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig. You decide when you lose, not other people. And Blabs.
I like pickles.
And co-hosted by our friends from around the internet. If you like common sense, hit that thumbs up button and of course the subscribe button and join us Monday through Friday live at 11 a.m. Central Time. And now, broadcasting from our homes, it's time for the #1 gaming and entertainment podcast on God's green earth. It's time for Side Scrollers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com and SideScrollersPodcast.com. What's going on, everybody? Hi, I'm Stuttering Craig. Happy Thursday to you. Just one more day of the week. Here we are, man. Good to see everybody. Glad you're hanging out with us today from about now for about the next 90 minutes or so. But we got a good show today. I am beyond excited you're hanging out with us. As always, Blabs is here. Hi, Blabs.
Hi, I'm actually really excited for this. We were just talking backstage and I'm like,
Woo!
yeah.
Is this you right here?
Yeah, because we're talking like collectibles and things. That's my thing.
Physical media.
Collector.
Physical media. You are a collector.
Yeah, her.
Yeah, see? Like side scroll
Pib.
hers.
Pib.
Yes, it's good. we definitely should add genders to our collecting. I think that's a very,
Totally,
very important
100%,
thing. Yeah, for sure.
Collect her. Now it just sounds like you're collecting people, though. Like, I gotta collect her, gotta collect him. You know? You
Really
can't really
messed
do
up,
that.
Labs.
Sounds like
Really
trafficking.
Really messed up. Just going to throw it out there. Well, I'll tell you what, we have a collect him today. Joining us for the first time, it's Jeff from World Class Bullshitters.
Hey everybody. Yes, I too am a collector. As you can see, I just have some of my stuff here. But thanks for having me, guys. Craig, Blabs. It's a pleasure to meet you in person today. Like I was telling you off air, man, I've been a long-time listener, so I'm really excited to be here. And we were talking off air about collectibles, physical media. I know this is going to be an awesome show. This is definitely my wheelhouse.
All right. Well, yes, we had a lot to talk about. So real quick, before we get in, obviously, you guys have been around for a while. How about you tell everybody about I'm sorry, you can't say bullshitters anymore because on YouTube, now it's just World Class BS.
Yes.
Like, is this...
We're going to have to just change it, I guess. But WCBS, as you can call us, that's how I refer to it as, inside of my head. But we've been around since 2015, right after Okay, so actually, I'm a big Back to the Future fan, and I'd been wanting to start a podcast for years, so I started it on Back to the Future Day, October 21st, 2015. So what I went ahead and did is we started a podcast, and it was fun, but then Star Wars Episode 7 came out, and I didn't like that movie, so I made a video about it, and then I started to just do more and more short-form videos until it became a thing around 2018. So we've been here, we've been doing it, we've had opportunities to do cool stuff, do comics, you name it. WCBS has been doing it for a while, so now we're here.
Have you done your Back to the Future podcast yet?
On a specific episode about Back to the Future? Yeah, I kind of live, like, there's a little DeLorean up there, but Back to the Future is kind of this thing where I'm, like, always talking about it or always thinking about it. I think the only great travesty in life is I'm too tall for a DeLorean, so I can't get the ultimate Back to the Future collectible.
Man, I love it. If you ever want to talk Back to the Future, I'd love to talk Back to the Future with you.
Wait, you
It's
know
my
Back to the
favorite
Future,
movie.
Craig?
Back to the Future? Yeah.
Well, I have to check with you. Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings.
Like, Back to the Future is the greatest movie of all time.
You know, there's 3 of them. Which
I
one?
agree.
The greatest movie series of all time. And the best thing about it, they're not going to touch it. It's going to be a perfect...
Let's hope. I'm
Nah,
not going to touch it.
If they touch that, I will burn down the movie studio.
I'll join you. I used to live by it. I know how to get through the Universal lot, so...
Phrasing, YouTube. We are phrasing here. It is not real. Don't shut us down.
In Minecraft.
Yeah.
We're going to burn it down in Minecraft.
In Palworld.
In Palworld, yes. It's going to be ridiculous.
I gotta download that.
I will absolutely join you in Minecraft to burn it down and watch everybody die in Minecraft. Anyways, let's make it really, really dark. Do me a favor, you guys head on over. It's at WCBs, and do what I'm doing right now and hit that subscribe button. Look at that. Look at that fun
Thank
little
you.
animation right there. And join us as we welcome our friend Jeff onto the show. So, we got a great show today. We have a lot going on. We're going to be digging into this Fortnite Disney stuff, Palworld going broke. Oh my gosh, Twitch and the insane costs associated with this. We're going to get into Funimation shutting down and what that means for physical media. I know a lot of you guys are very passionate about physical media. We're going to get into quite possibly one of the biggest hypocrites I've ever seen in my life. We're going to get into that a little bit later on. We're also going to be talking about how none of what you own is real. So we got a lot going on today, as well as the new Knuckles series, which we may or may not get to. We'll see if we got there. But I want to remind you guys, we are live over at rumble.com/sidescrollers. Join us over there. And join the nearly 6,000 friends who have hit the follow button over there. Those who love common sense and free speech, come join us over on Rumble. We have an X account at SidescrollerPod, which I encourage you to find and hit the follow button, where you would have known that Jeff was going to be on the show had you hit the follow button, and you'd see the tweets and all that stuff. Or, I'm sorry, post, which would be great. We also have an Instagram, don't we, Blabs?
Yes, and you know what? Nobody gets a wedgie, but you'll get a very nasty look if you don't follow us on Instagram.
Like, give us an example of what that look would look like, Blabs. Man, okay, there we go. Thank you, Blabs. It's intimidating. Don't do that ever again. We also are live over on Kick at kick.com/sidescrollers as we continue to grow over there as we migrate from Twitch because, well, Twitch is Twitch. Also, we have the audio version of the show over on Spotify. If you like to listen to us and not see our pretty faces, you can do that as well. And you can also find the show and support the show over at sidescrollerspodcast.com. Become a member over there. Because I just wanted to point this out, Blabs, I don't even know, I know you actually don't know this. But if you go to sidescrollerspodcast.com, I want to make sure it redirects. Does it redirect? Please tell me it redirects. I'm checking right now in real time. It's slowly going. Okay, just go to sidescrollers.locals.com. It'd be a lot easier. If you go to sidescrollers.locals.com, you can actually watch, if you are a member over at our locals page, you can find, well, by the end of this show, you'll be able to watch my one-on-one interview with Maven, the winner of WWE Tough Enough from back in the day, former WWE superstar. Did an awesome interview with him. It is live over on the locals page, which we're going to be slowly migrating over there because, quick reminder, next Thursday is our 1-year birthday. Been doing this for a year, which is great. We're going to have a big old 12-hour extravaganza, 11 to 11 next Thursday. So a week from today. It's going to be a big, big kickoff. Do us a favor. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. We'd love for you guys to join us on a day-to-day basis. We're live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Central Time. Hit the thumbs up button. We're going for 500. And as always, our goal is 25 memberships every single show. Can we do it? Yes, we can. Let's hit that number today. I would love to do that and continue on. One last quick reminder before we get into all the fun stuff today. Tonight, we have a special evening show at 5 p.m. Central Time. Look at Blab staring at that right there. Tonight, we're having an AI debate. A debate, discussion, whatever. It's going to be awesome. We're going to be joined by Mr. Grant Gregory, Shadiversary, Reagan Lodge, and George, who has been on the show.
I love how you can't say Alexopoulos.
George Alexopoulos is going to be on the show.
He's always like, George!
It's going to be a pro-AI versus anti-AI debate, and it's going to be awesome. Tonight at 5 o'clock. I don't know how long we're going to go for, but the irony of all this is that I had ChatGPT put together the prompts for tonight's show, which would be really, really great. So AI actually helped organize the show. So join us tonight. It's a very special edition, 5 o'clock Central Time. There may be a few curse words that are said. Just going to throw it out there because these guys are very passionate about it. So.
Team Aussie versus Team America. Fight!
Who's it going to be? Aussie or America? And we all know it's USA. There we go. Damn Aussies. It's ridiculous. First, I want to let you know that Mario came in with the $5 super chat. Says they knew the Funimation thing was coming. Spoke to some voice actors and staff. They outright said they were rebranding to Crunchyroll. Well deserved. Well, Mario, we're going to get into that in just a little bit. Looking forward to that, and that's going to be a really good discussion. BC says, did you ever meet Sean Baby? I don't know. Maybe that's directed to Jeff. Jeff, do you know who Sean Baby is?
Wasn't he either a game journalist for some magazine like Game Informer, or was he on a website like 15 years ago, something like that, right?
BC, to answer your question, Sean Baby was a video game journalist. He had his own website. He was kind of like the, the punk rock video game guy back in the day. And so Sean Baby is kind of like I'd say he predates internet. I think he was on EGM. Or
That's
in
what
EGM
it is.
back in the day. So
I used to read that.
Oh man, EGM was the best for sure. Peter came in with the $5 Canadian. Says, I'd like to see side scrollers debate an actual AI.
What do you mean? We are AI.
That's right. We're doing a side scrollers AI show right now.
Yeah.
We are the future.
Glitch.
There you go. Yeah, you can see it throughout the show. It's nonstop glitching. But yeah, so look, we got a big one today. I am very excited to have Jeff on. And Blabs, you got anything before we really dig in?
Yeah, follow me on YouTube. Help me get monetized. The end.
Okay.
I'll follow you right now.
Love it. By the way, total like quality of life improvement. We've talked about this several times, but I love to see the thumbs up on the super chats. That's really, really cool.
Right?
That's a fun little improvement. It does nothing, but it's just a fun little thing to see. I love it. So
especially when Tower Tard comes in and it gets like 20 likes.
yes, Blab's the Tower Tard for sure. All right, so look, we got a lot to talk about today. Looking forward to getting into it. It's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for Hard News. All right, Jeff, you're looking around, figuring out what's happening in here. I don't even know either. It's
Where the
crazy.
voices are coming from, that's what I want to know.
They're
AI.
all over the place, man. Yes, it's AI. We
Always
hired
being
up
watched.
the AI. Look, yesterday was a big deal for Disney. They had their earnings call that happened after the Gina Carano lawsuit, which was really kind of interesting to watch to see how they'd react to that. Not a whole lot of answers being thrown down. Actually, Bob Iger was asked in a separate interview, just on a side note, his thoughts on Gina Carano and the lawsuit, and he had literally no response. He said pretty much no comment to that. So that's where that stands. But they did announce a lot of stuff on their earnings call, and probably the biggest thing was a giant crossover with Fortnite, because I guess they want to move into like this digital sphere and create new places and where magic is epic, which is kind of funny considering the universal response to this, which we'll get to in just a little bit. But I think they're paying Epic to create more or less like a land where you can, I don't know, it's really kind of odd what they're throwing down here. They're saying it's a new land that'll emerge, and it looks very much like a Disney park, just online, which is kind of bizarre. It has that hub and spokes aspect to it, including some crazy ass castle where you can see Marvel over here. This looks like, obviously Nightmare on Elm Street, or not Nightmare.
I wish.
What is it? What is it? Not
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas. You can kind of see all the fun little
ships.
IPs that are put in here.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Blabs. What's your thoughts on this before we get to
I don't know.
Jeff?
I think they're gonna make some type of multiverse like within Fortnite.
You think this
But
is just going to
they've
be
already
in Fortnite?
done that, right? But I feel like a lot of these skins get retired out. I'm not positive because I don't touch Fortnite like I'm a normal human. But I don't know. I think they're gonna make some type of giant multiverse game where you can play as all these different Disney characters and IPs within Disney.
Right.
Maybe it's a VR.
Oh, that'd be the worst thing ever. The worst idea ever if it's VR.
But they
Nobody
might
wants
just
to
do
do this
it.
shit. No, nobody wants to do that shit. Jeff, your thoughts on all this insanity right here?
First off, I agree with you about VR. I'm not feeling that. But with this, so we've been following Disney for such a long time on the channel, but just as an observer, I've always watched Disney kind of fail in the game market. Now, people would go, this is Disney. How can you say they fail in the game market? They got all these games based off their movies and franchises. But a couple years ago, they did this Disney Xfinity thing, which is essentially this, but they sold you action figures, and it was this. You like put them on a little stand, and it scanned it, and it was a huge flop. To the point where when Toys R Us was actually going out of business, and we'd filmed that for the channel, I mean, there would be mountains of these things. We're talking as tall as I am, and I'm 6'5". So Disney Xfinity was always this kind of like failed thing, and this just feels like the digital version of it. I personally am not a Fortnite guy. I'm a little too old for it. I don't really see this necessarily working as well as Disney thinks, though, because a lot of those IPs that they're selling Indiana Jones and Star Wars exclusively are for an older generation. And we can use Indiana Jones, the 5th one that came out last year, to show you that Indiana Jones doesn't really resonate with the younger audiences. It doesn't sell. It doesn't do any business. I just think they're just going to set up a very expensive digital world that's going to get some hype and eventually kind of peter out. So I don't think this is going to be a long-term hit.
You know, you look at this and you see all the different IPs associated with it, including businesses inside of Disney. So here, let's just count off some of the IPs. You see Wreck-It Ralph here, Nightmare Before Christmas here, obviously Marvel, Lucasfilm. Then there, like ESPN of all things is kind of weird over here. You have your Star Wars Land. You got Peter Pan down here. This is the weird one for me though. You have Disney Cruise Line over on the far side over here. Disney, what is
those
take
ships
some virtual
look
cruise?
like from Lilo and Stitch, the red ones.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I think that might be a Stitch thing.
But this doesn't seem. They're obviously going for this younger demo, right? And they're trying to make these IPs relevant. As you said, like indie doesn't work with today's kids. They don't care, right? But this is obviously a push. You know, when you have something like Fortnite, which is just insanely stupid popular, and building it into it seems like a good idea in theory. But my question is, how do they monetize it? Will they monetize it through skins? You know, do you have I think of those games that let you play, they let you go to Disney World where you have an avatar and you go in and you can ride the rides, right? There was someone like Xbox 360 or Xbox One where you can go do that. And those are like really pretty boring, right? They're pretty boring little games designed for like, 6 and 7 year old kids. Like my kids thought they were really fun because it's like, oh, I'm going to Disney World, right? But I would think anybody past the age of like 7 or 8 wouldn't necessarily enjoy the Xbox experience of quote unquote going to Disney World. I don't know, man. This doesn't pass the sniff test to me, just personally. So, Blabs, poll in the chat, please.
Yeah, I just made one saying, "Are you interested in this Epic X Disney crossover?" And we got yes, no, and I don't care.
A lot of I don't cares. Yes. Those who are interested, are you interested more from a car wreck perspective, or are you interested more in an exploratory, an exploration perspective? So we'll kind of see.
All
But
car
apparently,
accidents.
It says coming soon-ish, so I wonder if we're gonna get it within this year.
I do not believe so. So here's at the tail end of this, it says play, watch, create, shop. This last one's the big one. This is the big one right here. You like all this stuff you can already do, but this is the one that matters to them, is the shop. So you can buy a bunch of digital shit that you don't need, right? That's the reality of it. Yes. What's interesting is that they're investing $1.5 billion into this. God.
Wow.
So this is obviously a pretty big initiative. Now, they have invested $1 billion in other things that have failed, notably the Star Cruiser. That didn't go over very well. And if this fails, it's just server space as opposed to a giant physical hotel that you got to rebrand and stuff. So I don't know, the digital side of things. As I highlighted a comment, it definitely has Ready Player One. Ready Player One element to it.
I can see them making it. I know you guys aren't for it, and I don't really care either way what they do. But I kind of see them as doing a VR where you can play as any skin from Disney and walk around Disney, the parks, or something like, or some type of Fortnite-esque land where you are in Fortnite. I can see them doing that.
Well, there was a video game that came out years ago where you did that in Universal Studios. And then there was like you said, the one on Xbox. Disney loves to rehash ideas. How many times are we going to get Snow White or Little Mermaid or Peter Pan or this and that? Yeah, it's like you get the same things over and over again. So I wouldn't be surprised, Blabs, if this is the same situation where they're just trying to make the same thing work that didn't work in the past. They're really it's a great idea. Yeah, it's like I love the internet. I use it as my job. I buy stuff on it. I use it all the time. I also like the real world, and there will never be a replacement for, like, I don't like Disney World, but let's say Universal Studios. I've had a great time there. It'll never be able to replace the actual tangible experience, the smells, the feel, the excitement, the rides. You know, you are always aware when you have a goggles set on your face. You know exactly where you are. You know you're being immersed. Technology can't reproduce light like the real world can. Like, you know you're not in there. And so I think this is just going to come off as like a cheap way to get you to go to Disney World without getting you to go to Disney World after they jack up the prices even more. It's like, hey, you can't afford to go to the digital one. I could see Disney pulling that.
Lots of people are also claustrophobic when it comes to these big goggles on their faces. Like, I'm one of those people, like, I can't put these huge-ass goggles on my face, so it's going to be like a niche target audience also. So good luck, Disney.
I'm going to make a bold prediction. And I think this fails. But I think that when I say fail, I don't mean it's going to be a Star Cruiser level failure. I think it'll be like it'll break even, right? And over time, it will trickle in as a revenue source for Disney. I think that the biggest asset that they have, if they did this without Fortnite, then I think this would fail miserably. But Fortnite is the key to this being successful. Using that engine, using their storefront, and having and leveraging an existing audience of a billion people who play Fortnite. I don't even know how many people play Fortnite, but hundreds of millions of people who play Fortnite, and having that opportunity to have these virtual experiences, I think that people will take to it. Now, I don't think that it's going to be a massive success, but I think it'll be enough to be a revenue line on or at least be referenced in a conference call. Now,
to answer your question, over 2 million players right now on Fortnite.
Currently, right now?
Yep.
And I've played one game of it.
Disney sees that as 2 million people that they want to take money from, and their logic is, why do we care if 50,000 people come to our parks on a day-to-day basis when we can have 1 million people visit our virtual park on a day-to-day basis? That's what they're going for. I also think that this is like when they say soonish at the end of this trailer, I think this is still in the very early planning stages. I think this is all concept art. I think this is still a couple years out.
Why would they announce it so early? I mean, all the Disney projects are kind of like scrapped. I mean, look at Star Wars games, for example. They announced that Eclipse, that was actually a beautiful trailer a couple years ago, and then scrapped.
Why do they announce it now? Yeah. To gauge interest in it. Because $1.5 billion is a ton of money, but they see that as a tremendous investment opportunity to generate $5 billion annually. You know what I mean? And do it at a far less cost. They're intrigued by the response to this. And I think the response, make no mistake, we're not its audience. We're not the target audience for Fortnite cross Disney or ex Disney or whatever. So do the 12, 13, 14-year-old kids, like, Jeff, you talk about the experience of walking through a theme park, the smells, the feel of the sun, the feel of the people talking and hearing all that stuff. That was our experience growing up. I think Disney's really thinking about what will the 10 through the teenager, what will their experience be like? And when people talk about these, Iger was asked about a fifth gate, like a fifth theme park down in Orlando. And he kind of commented it. He just kind of brushed it off and went on to talk about how great the 4 gates are. I think Disney could see this as a fifth gate, right? Why do it, they're investing $1 billion for Tron to create a ride when they can invest $1.5 billion to build virtual shit and make way more money on it. I think that's how they see it. I try to look at these things from like an executive perspective, and I think that's their argument with this. So
yeah, I try to look at a lot of entertainment decisions based on the business too, because you're always looking for the why. It's never about anything else but why. Why would they do this? And then there's the how. How much can it make, or how much will it cost? I agree with that mentality, and I agree with your assessment. I just don't think it's going to be a big hit. Disney is a family thing. And also, too, those 12, 13, 14-year-olds that you mentioned, Disney isn't the primary source of entertainment for families or younger viewers. You know, I'm 35, so growing up, there was Disney, but they were kind of in the background because like Fox Kids and Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network and all these other things were out there competing for our eyes. And now with the influence of Eastern with anime, gaming platform, like, because the thing is, we grew up with anime and video games in the 90s, but they were kind of niche or they were hard to come by outside of like your mainline games. Everybody's got a bigger pool to be distracted by. I don't know if that audience has any affinity for Disney that they would actually treat the Disney brand the way Disney would want. They kind of may look at these characters. I like Darth Vader. He's cool. I'll get Darth Vader. Or, I like this character, the Mandalorian. But I think that's about it. I don't think Disney has the brand loyalty that they used to have because of a couple generations of competition.
I think there's, yes, I agree with that for sure. Disney isn't as cool as it used to be. And it's certainly not to our generation. Just quick little side note, Universal Orlando came out and with just a fun little jab, just says epic, huh? Knowing that, their latest park is called Epic Universe. Epic is partnering with Disney, blah, 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 just kind of a fun little blink, so there's that. Razorburn says, Blabs, I am a huge Lego collector. Just wondering if you collect any Harry Potter Lego sets. If so, which ones do you have?
I have over 80 Lego sets. I'm not going to list them all.
Nice. What's your favorite one?
The older ones from 2001 slap.
Okay.
Even if they're yellow minifigures, the nostalgia, the packaging, everything is just
Hold on.
superior.
Once again, it goes. This is a conversation, Jeff, that we've had literally since the day one of the show.
Okay.
How do you say the action?
Oh, no.
Action. What? When the little things? What are they called? Action
figures.
Say it again, really quick.
Action figures.
Okay. Is it figures or figures?
I say figure, like figure it out type of thing.
I think that's a third. I feel like that's a third pronunciation.
I mean,
That's
there's a
what
company.
I'm saying.
There's a company called SH Figure Arts, which like puts the word figure and art together in a portmanteau. But like, I just usually like figure.
This is interesting because I think this is a third pronunciation that is being introduced to our lexicon here. There's figure, and Jeff, you're saying what is this?
Figure, like right between the two.
Figure.
Wow. It's almost like
I hear the same thing.
it's like figure is on a spectrum, and we all need to figure
We're all
out.
the spectrum. We all got the tisms.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous. Jonathan says, I love how Iger mentions Disney wants to use Unreal Engine despite Kingdom Hearts 3 and 4 is using it. Tells you how little respect Kingdom Hearts is given. Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate that. Yes. Joe came in, says, they tried that VR crap here at Six Flags Magic Mountain in LA. They stopped it because of the inconvenience, cost, and eye infections.
Ugh.
People getting eye infections. You put on this VR helmet and you got like pus coming out your eyes. Oh, God.
I could believe that at Six Flags.
Oh, my God. Well, it's Six Flags, Andrew came in and says, this is targeting oh my gosh. This is targeting to the Disney adults. Oh no, do you have that, Blabs?
I don't think I ever added it. I think you deleted it from me.
Oh no,
You did. I had it there.
I didn't delete that.
Oh, wait. You know what it is? It's not a video. It's this.
Jeff, I don't know if you saw, and I hate to bring this up. Stop it, Blabs. Speaking of Disney adults, and Jeff, you probably know about this, but did you see the news about the greatest app ever? Mm-mm. It's the Disney Swingers app, where
Swingers on Main.
Where swingers at Disney can get together and screw. And that was the laugh of the girl in the promo video. And it just makes you want to slowly put the gun in your mouth Just
Pull
slowly
it.
right here.
Yeah.
Just, and just pull the
She's
trigger.
like, we get to be swingers on Disney.
Stop it! Don't. Yeah.
Some things
Let us
Disney
never
just
hear
doesn't
that
cross
again.
over with.
Swingers is one of them.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Stop it. Hey, Steven came in, says Elias Torf. I don't even know how to say that. Elias Torferix, no longer voice acting Adam Jensen for Deus Ex, thanked his fans and was more upset over people getting laid off than getting ghosted by Eidos/Embracer. Admits video game industry is foobarred. He's one of the real ones. Steven, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thanks for your support with that 1999 super chat. That is spectacular. And Commodore Fan 64 says, my 5-year-old great nephew could care less about Disney. It's all Universal IPs like Shrek, Minions, etc. I hear that, man. Like, I would love to see the market share, the Universal Disney market share, specifically from movies, because I think Minions is pretty freaking popular right now. I literally was watching Minions last night with my daughter.
It has been for the better part of a decade too. Like,
Yeah.
The Super Mario movie was huge. That was a Universal picture. Like, I too would like to see those numbers.
Yeah, it's great.
The Hollywood Reporter says Universal's releases generated an estimated $4.91 billion in movie ticket sales at the global box office compared to $4.82 billion for Disney. So Universal.
Oh, so they're actually beating them.
Yeah.
So
That was
Universal
announced
beat
at the end of December, early January, how like Universal was actually doing better compared to Disney, and like Disney didn't have that many box office hits.
Wow.
Like over $1 billion, I should say.
That's pretty interesting. That's actually, honestly, great news. that's actually very, very cool to see. Good
Which
for
is
them.
owned
for
by
sure.
NBC, which is, isn't even that great of a company.
Right.
So it's like the least shittier.
Right.
Exactly.
It's really what it comes down to is who's the worst company that you want to root
suck
for?
less.
Yeah. Dude came in, says, so many people laughed at me at buying physical media. Well, who's laughing now? Dude, no one's laughing at you. Appreciate you, buddy. Good for you. All right, let's move on to our next story here. Palworld is the hotness. Blabs, can you look up how many people have bought Palworld? There was 19 million last time we saw, which was at the tail end of last week or so. I'm sure it's well past 20 at this point. But Palworld is obviously the hotness. I played it. I very much loved it. Drives me crazy how much fun I had playing Palworld. It was stupid. But like literally millions of people are playing this. Pokemon with guns and stuff. And with that success, they have run into some issues. And quite possibly the biggest issue is the ridiculous server cost associated with keeping Palworld up and going, as the dedicated server costs $6 million annual fees, which, as the CEO says, could bankrupt the studio, which is just silly, and obviously it will go higher. So $6 million annually, potentially, for this. We're going to do a little bit of math as well. Blabs, do you have any sales figures on...
Of course, not really. The last thing was 19 million, but now Palworld says as of January 31st, it exceeds the number. But they're not giving us an actual number.
Okay. So let's just do some quick math, though. They're selling the game for $30, right? And they're pocketing 70% of that because Steam takes 30%, which, by the way, is the biggest scam of them all. But so they're taking $21 of the $30, and let's just multiply that times 20 million. So they've generated $420 million, right, of revenue. I'm not the CEO of the company behind Palworld, but I'm just off the headline here and doing the math. It seems like $6 million is a fairly small expense when you're generating $420 million. Am I missing something here? Like, I don't know. Maybe I feel like I'm missing here. So they're generating over $500 million, or almost $500 million, and they're wondering about server cost. And this was kind of interesting because the CEO of Rumble came in and was like, hey, dog, we're ready to step in and help because they have Rumble Cloud as their solution. Jeff, do you know what Rumble Cloud is?
I don't. I have a Rumble channel, but I do not know Rumble Cloud.
Yeah, so Rumble Cloud is like their server solution. Palworld may be using Amazon servers and such. So I don't know. It's just interesting to see, but maybe I don't understand. John says, forgot about taxes and expenses. Sure. But at the same time, let's just say that. Let's just say they're generating half of that. Like let's just say the tax man comes and takes half of the $420 million that they're generating, right? They're still generating $210 million, which $6 million of that is less than about 1%. What is that? About 3% of operating cost. That's my math for the day. It seems like that's a worthy business expense to keep to keep things going. Just gonna throw it out there, but I actually thought it'd be considerably higher. I don't know. I guess that would be my question to the CEO of Palworld: is what? How are you going to go broke with that?
Yeah, how many years does he have? Like, even if they make no more money and they can only put the servers up, how many years? People will lose interest in the game before they would ever go bankrupt or anything like that. So, I'm with you, Craig. I don't understand the behind the scenes part of that, but it's a weird story.
It is. Piggybacking on Palworld here, everyone's been saying, hey, this is just Pokemon with guns. It's the same thing. It's Pokemon. So what's Nintendo going to say about it? Well, Nintendo has responded. They responded in the most Nintendo way possible, saying, we take all appropriate action against those that infringe our intellectual property rights. The president of Nintendo said when questioned about Palworld. So it does appear that Nintendo is looking into this a little bit more. They've kind of no commented a little bit on it. So I don't know. It's interesting.
I don't think they have anything.
I agree. I don't think they have anything on it either.
The trailers were announced years ago. They could have done a cease and desist, as we were saying like last week, saying, no, this is our stuff. You can't use this. Shut down. And they didn't. And now sales are booming and Nintendo's like, shit, what do we do? Cause chaos. Mm-hmm. And they're not, because people who hate on Nintendo are going, yeah, I'm going to go play Palworld. Screw you, Nintendo. So, thanks, Nintendo.
I think this goes back to, this is, I think more than anything, a wake-up call for Nintendo. And if I saw this headline from Nintendo, that was or from Palworld saying, this could bankrupt us. Like, we've seen all the success. You know what I would do if I was Nintendo? I would scoop that shit right up. I would buy Palworld, and I would throw some skins on it. I would buy it ASAP, and I would take that away from Sony and Microsoft and PC, and I would say, you want to play Palworld? Guess what? You got Pokemon World. Congratulations. Here it is. We just bought it for $500 million. And the Palworld people go, yay! And everyone goes, yay! And Nintendo goes, yay! And everyone goes, yay! And everyone's really excited about it. I'm just saying. I think it makes total sense, man.
It would be a win-win.
Right?
How much do they nerf the game once Nintendo gets involved? Like, how much is restricted?
Remove the guns.
Yeah, and then you're just like, oh, okay, the one thing I wanted to play, shoot Electabuzz or something. It's like, okay. Maybe they replace it with the Splatoon characters, and you can hit them with paint or something. I don't know, but... yeah, I would be surprised, or wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo did that.
As pointed out in the chat, some people say, I can see Microsoft buying it. I think that somebody should buy this like immediately, right? This is shown to be a very big viral success. People are really into it, and more than anything, people have shown this has Minecraft vibes to it, right? When Minecraft was coming out and it was in like early access and beta way back in the day, I remember hearing about it. And there was a groundswell of support of people who just wanted to support the game because they saw the potential in the game. And even before its full release, people were very much excited about it. This has like Minecraft vibes to it because they've said Palworld is an early access game. It's only going to get better over time. So if I'm one of these major companies that has a slew of money just laying around, I think you buy this before it becomes $1 billion property. And you save yourself some money. It's a success. Just go in and buy it. Why not? Just saying, it makes a lot of sense to me.
We'll see the merchandise on the shelves soon.
Absolutely, yeah.
Craig's gonna start collecting all the pals.
I'd be such a ridiculous nerd.
He's gonna get all the shiny pennies and place them all behind him.
Oh my God.
Make a good set.
Dude came in over on Rumble, says Palworld is a one-time payment. Maybe they should look into allowing people to host their own games instead of hosting everything themselves. Minecraft has always done what I suggested. That's true. Or they could offer microtransactions, right? I think you see oftentimes people, specifically our age, they're like, game, why can't I just buy a game? Why can't I just buy a game one time and then I have the game? This is why. Because games have changed. There's now cost associated with games and server cost and ongoing maintenance and et cetera and ongoing development. Games have become a service. Very rarely do you just buy a game nowadays. Pretty much mainly small indie studios because Palworld's kind of indie-ish. But there are ongoing costs associated with this, which is why we've seen over the last 15 years the shift from buy a game for $60 to now buy a game for $60 and have multiple seasons attached to it with $15 a season or whatever it may be, or these skins or microtransactions or whatever it may be. But that's just where video games are and will continue to be. So
I'll find myself playing less of them if that's the case, because I just want like a nice experience. I don't really need tons of updates. The only games I really buy the DLC for is wrestling, because it's DLC that feels natural, like new people. I don't like guns or skins or like the worst is when you can buy like the upgrades and you're better than other people if you pay for the DLC. That's why I never played Halo Infinite more than like a couple of days. I was like, this isn't really going to be your traditional Halo. So I gave up on it. And I'm ready to buy games, and I understand that there's new costs, but does everything have to be constantly connected or constantly being updated? Like, I'm happy when it, like Zelda, they didn't even need to update it because it had a glitch in it. But like, I bought Zelda, I played it, I was happy. I didn't need DLC for Zelda. A new one, at least. The last DLC for Zelda wasn't very good, but I digress.
Right. And they've gone out of their way and say that they're not doing any expansions for the new Zelda. Like, that's the game, which is good. Very, very cool to hear. So, speaking of ridiculous costs tied to servers and all sorts of stuff, this was like really interesting. This kind of got passed around yesterday. This is a Twitch streamer, Pirate Software, which he obviously has a pretty large audience. He is streaming to about 8,000 people when he was doing this math. He was kind of showing people the cost associated with running a platform like Twitch and having any sort of audience and people tuning in. Because when we talk about YouTube, you know, when you guys super chat, right? Like Matthew just came in. Thank you, Matthew, with the $4.99. It says Nintendo should buy them and make them a second Pokemon team. That's an interesting idea. Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate that. But when you come in and super chat, we obviously greatly appreciate that. So does YouTube, because they take 30% of everything that is that's part of the business model associated with it. And on the surface, as a streamer, you're like, God, 30%'s a lot, and it is. It's a lot. It's a giant gatekeep to your money, right? But as somebody who has been on the other side of it, of having a platform and trying to have server costs and stuff, I totally understand it. Because if we were streaming this by ourselves, using our own hardware and streaming with data, you would very quickly understand that we would be losing money out the ass. And this is a great example of this. Let me just kind of show you this video here.
So if you look at this, let's go in here. We're going to say that I've streamed for about 8 hours right now.
Now he's using the Amazon. This is a publicly available tool where you can actually predict how much an event would cost to stream on Amazon servers. So that's what he's using here. It's a publicly available tool.
We're going to say that we have 9,000 viewers right now. We're going to put the average at about 8,000. If every one of you is watching at 1080p and you have been the whole time, it costs Twitch $4,360 to run this stream. That's how that works. That is why Twitch is losing money. This is the reason. You do that for every streamer on the platform. Now, you remember, if we're at 720p, it's $2,000. If it's 480p, it's $1,100. Per year? No. Per this stream. That's this stream, not per month. This singular stream at 8 hours of streaming.
So, pretty good penny if you're streaming at 1080p, which we are, by the way. We're streaming at 1080. We don't have 8,000 people watching us. But we do have, a sixth of that right now with 1,500 people, and then I think we have over on Rumble, we got a few hundred more watching over there. So you do the math on that, and this stream would cost us, well over $1,000 to stream on a day-to-day basis if we were to do this. So you can totally see, why a service like Twitch, like, it just doesn't seem like a good business model, if I'm being very honest with you. But I don't know. Your thoughts on that, Jeff?
When I watched the video, I was really taken aback because we have a Twitch channel, but we don't really use it. I'll just take a step back and say I don't understand the appeal of watching people play games. Like, I'm into it. Like, I'll play anything and try it out. But I just never got into Twitch because I guess originally when I discovered it, it was, you can watch people play games. That being said, though, where you'd have to have so many people send, like, how does Twitch even take a cut? Like, do they take a cut of, let's say that guy has 8,000 people watching? Are there subscriptions involved? I don't really understand how Twitch works because YouTube simplifies it. That's why we've always done YouTube as our primary source. But $4,000 for a stream? How many people are streaming on Twitch constantly? Thousands. Like,
right.
I don't know where the money goes. I can't even fathom those numbers.
It's really insane to think about. And by the way, I thought we were streaming in 1080. We're not. We're streaming in 720. Wah wah. That's okay. Most people watch streams in 720 or even 480 if you're watching on your mobile device, which a lot of people are. By the way,
they just listen.
Some people do. Which once again, audio over on Audible. You guys can find us over there. But it's interesting to see, and I think this is one of those costs that people don't necessarily think about is the actual server cost. Now, I'm sure that Twitch sees a tremendous discount because they are owned by Amazon. That was what he was using was a publicly available tool for pricing out a potential event for, from a vendor perspective, if you want to leverage the Amazon servers and stuff. But still, point is made is that it's really fucking expensive to do any sort of streaming, video hosting, whatever. I saw a chat a second ago that said something to the effect of, like, I remember Craig, here we go, says, I remember when Craig said that hosting Screw Attack videos were very expensive back in the day. Yes, and that has been and it's only got less expensive since then. It was ridiculous back in the day. Lior came in and says, those numbers aren't real, overblown 100 times. Lior, tell us more. Would love to hear more about that because even if it is 100x, that's pretty still a lot of money to host. And maybe the guy generates more money for Twitch just through bits and stuff. But Lior, please tell us more. Love that. Hey Blabs, guess what?
No, I got something for you first. Okay. You know what? Go ahead. We'll do that first. This is for you, Jeff. Blob's a tower charged for $5. Me tried Disney Swinger app and got trafficked. Now we have to build iPhone all day. I like pickles, yay! I did not get trafficked. However, I have some amazing banger of news. Kratos El Gratos gifted 30 kick subs.
What?
30.
Wow. 30?
30. 30.
Wow, that is spectacular news. Hey, Jeff, whenever somebody gifts 10 subs or a $50 super chat or preferably a direct donation, we put their name on the wall back here. You get to pick the color today. So you want blue, orange, green,
He's
or
like the
yellow?
dentist. What kind of sticker do you want?
Yeah. What color should we go with today, Jeff?
Well, it's my favorite color. We'll go with blue since I'm kind of lit by blues today. So
let's go.
Blue dabba-dee dabba-die.
Kratos.
It's a good song too.
Kratos coming in with the 30 gifted memberships. Let's stink and go. Hey, do me a favor, Jeff. Will you look at that? Look at that, Jeff.
Yeah. All right, Kratos, you rock. Thank you.
Thanks, Kratos.
Love that. That's awesome.
I see Blabs a Tower Todd came back in the comics like Blabs says she not get traffic, but not that she used the app. I don't use the app either.
Yeah, right.
I ain't about that swinger life.
You're right. Hey, Jeff, disembodied charred phallus says, anyone got some moisturizer? Hey, good luck with that.
For some context, there's a listener who goes by the name Darth Vader's disembodied charred phallus, and they actually sent me an action figure. It's like a grilled hot dog with a Darth Vader head on it, and I have it.
God.
Yeah, I got a great audience. The people are awesome. Like, I have a storage unit full of stuff from the P.O. box. Eventually, I'll get to put it somewhere. But thank you, man.
You know,
I see you out there.
Craig never thought about it, but Darth Vader has a charcoal dick.
I always say he doesn't even have one because he catches fire and it burns off. So if you think about it,
you can't just burn off a dick. The rest
I'm
of
out.
him would just burn off too. No, like
Man,
seriously, his knees get chopped off.
Yes.
He lays the knees down. So why would it affect his dick? I don't think it works obviously anymore.
well, he's on
Dick.
and he's like he's on fire and it just won't go out. I don't know.
What do you mean? Does it just melt right off? I don't think that's how it works, bro.
I don't want to know the science behind it. Okay.
Listen,
You guys still going, or you guys?
this is a genuine nerd question here.
Yeah. Is Darth Vader castrated?
Does Darth Vader have a melted dick?
Let's check in on
Viewers
Drunk
want
3.
to know.
Let's see if Drunk 3PO has anything. Jay, what are your thoughts on this? Jay, you
The
got
browser
any?
failed to play the clip. What
Oh.
does that even mean?
No, it's playing. It's playing.
Oh.
It's good. Jay was just checking in over there. He's just wondering what's happening. Wow. I mean, I kind of want to let you guys go with this. You guys go talk Vader dick.
Let's start our own show, Blabs. We
Hashtag
can.
Vader dick.
Vader dick podcast. Let's go. I love everything.
How long
about
can
that.
we stretch it out for?
Yo, Hayden Christensen, got a question for you. Do you think your dick fell off in that scene?
Wow.
If we could get James Earl Jones to comment on it,
Oh my
imagine the
God.
voice of the sound bite of James
the
Earl Jones.
narration.
Yeah.
And at that
No.
moment, his dick fell off.
That's why he was choking everybody, because he was angry.
Yeah, damn it.
He goes, "Oh, where is it?" He's just trying to. Oh, I love it. I love
It doesn't replace it.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Oh my God, I have to choke your neck instead of my chicken. Oh my God. All right, let's go. Peter came in and says, I don't think Nintendo will do anything. There's probably a handshake deal we don't know about, and Nintendo is only looking into shut people up. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate that.
Listen, Eric has a statement. Why do you think he screamed, no? He looked down.
Exactly.
No. Oh my God. 60 Watt came in with the 10. Thank you so much, 60 Watt. Says, Amazon really likes to rip itself off, huh? I'm being silly. I know about intra-company expenses and stuff. I watch you on the 360, by the way. Let's go. Craig looks better that way. Hey. The more blurry, the better. I'll tell you that much. Lior came in, says, gave us a bunch of data here. Linux on AWS is $2.40 a month. Amazon owns the HW. Thank you, Lior. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm sure that Twitch gets a ridiculously good cost associated with that. But
Woo! Kratos gifted another sub.
woo! 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 Thank you, Kratos. Greatly appreciate that. That is
And
spectacular.
he wants to know, how long can you stretch out the Vader dick?
It's like
Weeks.
More than he can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It broke at that point.
I just like this conversation is fascinating to me.
Yeah, that's because you have no idea what we're talking about, because you don't like Star Wars.
Oh no! I know exactly. I know
You know all
exactly what
about
you're talking about.
the charcoal dick life?
Yes, I do. This is kind of what I'm imagining here when you guys are talking about, like Vader's dick being stretched out over here. Let me just
I
kind
don't
of
think
show
you can
this.
show that on screen. Oh, okay.
This guy over here making some noodles. Anyways, just stretching it out. Let's go. Sorry.
Okay.
Welcome to our show, Jeff.
This wasn't in the show notes. I'm a
no.
little
No.
thrown
You
off.
guys did this. Andrew says those numbers are real. You got to take into account hosting, load balancing, server instances, CDN, logging, etc., etc. There are many things on the background needed for a live service to be up 24/7. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate that. Blabs the Tower Tart came in.
Blabs a tower tried for $2. Does Chewie have a red rocket or a human one?
Important questions we got to ask. Hey, Master
Hey, George
Bait
Lucas, got a question?
says it's 100% melted off. The question is if you got a new robotic one. Poll in the chat, Blabs. You know where I'm going with
Vader
this.
have a robot dick? Gotcha.
Yep. Peter says, "Where is my wiener? Is it safe?" Where is my wiener? Is it safe? Is it all right? Thank you, Peter. Tiki the Hut says Vader lost it, thus more force choke, less stroke. Okay. Oh my God! I'm glad we tackle the important topics here on Side
This is hard
Scrollers.
news.
Yes,
Well,
absolutely.
Literally,
not
actually,
anymore.
it's not hard for him. This doesn't have
That
one.
ridiculous. Okay,
Poor choice of words.
we're going to do our best to keep an eye on this very important poll right now. Does Vader have a robot dick? That is an actual question that we're asking our audience, which is great. I love everything about that. Please vote at the top and let us know. Very important stuff. Let's move on. She would love to find out, wouldn't she? Like that weird, crazy, psycho, crazy-eyed girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Can I get some F's in the chat, please? As Funimation will be shutting down April 2nd. Not April 1st, because that'd be an April Fool's Day joke. But April 2nd, it is shutting down. Funimation, a longtime mainstay in the anime and streaming world, it's done! And it is merging with Crunchyroll. But oh boy, are people upset. Number one, the biggest thing is they're more or less doubling the cost when you make the transition over to Crunchyroll. It's like $50 a month for Funimation, and now it's going to cost $100 a month, starting in $100 a year. I'm sorry, in 2025. The watch history and queue can migrate over, but here's the big one: digital purchases on Funimation will not be supported as you move over to Crunchyroll. So that giant library of whatever it is that you own on Funimation, you better start ripping it now, because you're not going to have it come April 2nd, which is just absolutely crazy. It goes back to you will own nothing and you will be happy. Here we are. Now, on the official Funimation website, they have more details about this, and it kind of gives you a rundown of why should you have Crunchyroll. And it tells you, it says Crunchyroll offers several benefits to its users. Here are some of the key benefits: extensive anime collection, blah, 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 simulcast episodes, exclusive content, Crunchyroll Game Vault, unlimited access to a growing library of premium mobile games for our mega fan and ultimate fan. By the way, can we just add more superlatives in front of names? Mega fan, ultimate fan here. Offline viewing, stream multiple devices, multiple language options, etc., etc., etc. So there we are. And here's the big corporate word: sunset. We're sunsetting the brand, which means shutting that shit down.
It's a very eloquent way of saying closing shop.
Yes. So there we go. That's kind of where we're at. Jeff, your thoughts on all the purchases, not maybe that you necessarily made, but many people have made that they're just not going to have anymore. Did you really buy it?
That's the conversation we were having off air, because about physical versus digital. To answer your question first, I spent nothing on Funimation because I like anime, but I'll buy it on disc because whatever. But it's pushing towards that future of, you can get a digital collectible, you can get a digital thing, you can get a digital that. It's like you're going to look at your stuff on a tablet. I get watching a movie or reading a book because there's another layer to that, but I don't like spending, $24 on a digital version of a movie and then it's gone. Excuse me. I had what was the one run by Sony? Ultraviolet or one of those. After I bought all of my movies, I had the digital copies and they're just gone. I couldn't imagine spending thousands of dollars like some people do on their Apple libraries, and then just to have them disappear, or a right or a license change and you don't have access to it anymore. It's crazy, because we also live in the world where we have physical media, but there are countless movies and TV shows that are lost. If they're not on a physical tape or a disc, they're sometimes on streaming on Netflix. But then if they lose the license, those things go away and that show just disappears. And that's kind of how this situation is with Crunchyroll and Funimation, where, they may not have the license for your purchased shows. PlayStation just did that with a lot of their content too. So I think it just takes you to that ugly future that nobody really wants.
Except for Sony and Crunchyroll and the companies, they definitely want that. You guys are obviously the sentiment is in the chat is like, digital collectibles are worthless, and I've actually thought a lot about this. One of the things that I want to get into moving ahead is I do want to do more documentaries and such. I want to do a Screw Attack documentary. People have asked about that. I've been talking with a bunch of different directors and stuff. And I would say over the past, really since Side Scrollers started, my stance on digital has shifted a lot. And I think a lot of it has to do with the community's input on this. I think that if I was to do any sort of documentary, I think it would be kind of silly not to offer it digitally, but I definitely would offer a physical version of it, which is something that I wouldn't have necessarily done previously. Offer a physical version of it, a DVD that you could purchase for sure. So,
well, you have to look at who you are versus a big company, though. If you're producing the Screw Attack documentary, let's say your funding is still X, you don't have what Funimation or Crunchyroll or any of these Japanese companies that bring their stuff to America, you don't have that resource. But I think it's really great to offer it, because when I back stuff online, I always want the physical version. Even I buy books or movies and stuff, I may not even buy it or watch it. I'm buying it to more support, but I'm always going to buy or get involved if there's something I can hold in my hand.
Right. As pointed out right here, it says you don't own digital media. It's like owning I like owning my physical media, right? And you said something, Jeff. You said when you buy an anime for $24, a digital copy of it. Well, it's more like a long-term rental, Mm-hmm. Like you don't actually own anything. You're just owning access to it. When you have a DVD in your hand, I own this. I don't even, this thing I put my cup on every day. I own this candle, right? I own these flippity floppity mirror goggles. I own this copy of Super Mario Wonder. I love that. I know I don't own the digital copies of them, What do you own, Jeff? What'd you just hold up?
Oh, I just pulled out a random copy of Batman Mask of the Phantasm on 4K because I like this movie. And of course I could watch it on HBO Max or whatever it's called, but I'm a video nerd, and so you don't get the same bitrate on streaming as you do on disc and the same audio quality. So to me, it's silly to go for streaming movies because you're paying more to watch an inferior version. At the end of the day, we all want the closest thing to theatrical experience, and streaming lowers your quality. You don't see the lifelike nature that you get on some of these discs. And with the TVs that can do this stuff, why settle for an amazing TV that can't get the content that you want to watch on it? So that's just another layer of why I don't like streaming.
There is a little disclaimer, and I'll pull this up from the Funimation Help website. It says, please note that Crunchyroll does not currently support Funimation digital copies, which means that access to previously available digital copies will not be supported. And then it just says, how we want to provide the best support. However, I do want to note that they say it does not currently support. So maybe in the future, it'll be carried over, possibly. However, I still have the argument of buy your own physical copies. Because even, let's say, Funko, which I can share this right now, Funko is going digital. You can buy digital Funkos. It makes no sense. You buy these packs of, digital Funkos, and maybe you'll get, a physical version of that Funko eventually. This is where we're going. Everything's going digital. Mind-boggling. But yeah.
I'm against it.
I would like to invite everybody to buy the digital Air that I'm offering in this digital invisible bottle here. It's only $7. You can buy it at sidescrollerspodcast.com. No, you can't, but maybe I should do that. That's the dumbest shit I've ever done.
Wild. You can literally buy digital Funko Pop NFTs. Who wants that? Who wants to own something on your tablet and be like, look at that cool action figure on my tablet?
I don't, as an artist, I never understood the NFT thing.
No.
It's weird how I just can't comprehend why that exists. And with the digital Funko Pops, it's for example, here's a Super Mario action figure. It's cool to be able to pick it up and do stuff with it. Mm-hmm. What the hell do I want why would I buy a digital Mario when I can just play the game of Mario digitally? It's they don't serve the same purpose. It's I can buy a digital thing that doesn't move. It's stupid to me. I'm sorry. It blows me away that is the future that they want to push for. It's
And it's funny how it's like after the NFTs ended on Twitter, and now like Funko's really pushing it out. Like they did a drop, which is what they call like the NFTs and all that stuff, of like Harry Potter. And apparently, if you can like get like some rare version of an NFT, then you might be able to get the physical version of it, which is what people want. So to me, it's just one, it's very confusing, and two, why would you want to own something that you can't actually touch? It's not tangible. It's not yours. Weird.
Dude came in with a rant over on Rumble. Says, remember, Sony owns Funimation and Crunchyroll. Your PlayStation digital content is just as volatile. And then Kratos says, I own plenty of digital media because it's stored and backed up on hard drives on my house. The difference is when it's stored on the cloud and can only be run on proprietary apps. There you go, Kratos. I think there is a line of distinction there for sure.
Oh yeah, I have Plex. Like I'm on a Plex server with like 4,800 movies. I still get the physical versions like of Back to the Future. We may have Back to the Future on Plex, but I got every release because it's Back to the Future.
Hey, Big Top just came in with the $7 direct donation. Says, hey yo, I'll buy some of that air in your invisible bottle. Take my money. Let's go. Well, you guys can continue to buy the invisible air and the invisible bottle for $7 direct donations. You can get a signed copy of it for $17. So I just wanted I'll just go and sign that right there for you guys. Shaker came in with the 199. Says, hey Jeff, I kidnapped Harrison Ford to write the wrong write the wrong Disney Star Wars has done to the franchise. He's getting grumpy about nerds arguing about Vader's possibly charred dick. He thinks he can stretch it out like Stretch Armstrong. Well, thanks, Shaker. Appreciate that. Oh, my God.
Oh, thank you, Shaker. You clearly understand stealing Solo. Thank you, Shaker.
Good. Tweet One says, it was intact. I jacked it. No!
Oh, yeah.
Came in and says, well, Craig, if you're asking all the hard questions, when are you going to play the 2021 Game of the Year, Honey Pop? I don't even know what that is, and I got to be honest, Tomac, I'm not sure I want to know. Just going to throw that out there. Jonathan Abear came in with the big blue today, a $50 super chat. Blabs, go to read this off really quick while I say, look at that!
Look at it! Okay. It's just my eyebrows. Sail the high seas as a Somali and pillage the internet for entertainment content. If these companies are insistent on fucking you on your digital content that you spent your hard-earned money on. Am I allowed to say that? Yes.
Absolutely not, Jeff. Jonathan, don't ever say that, Mr. Abear. But yeah, you can say it. You're in a safe space here on Side Scroll. There's a safe space here. Jonathan, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Let's look at him on that wall. Look at that right there. Look at him right there. That's good. Yeah. Hey, Trevor came in and says, yo, Jeff, I just got here. Need a high council reunion. I hear EVS is down for it. Hope you and Jess are doing well.
Thank you. I'm down. I've heard from a friend that does another podcast. Yeah, why not? The audience wants that stuff. We all love the old high council days, and hey, I'm game. I'm like Switzerland. I like everybody. Your second part, I left California and haven't been involved with that part of my life in almost a year. So I guess it's a little slow to get out there. I don't make a lot of my public stuff or private stuff public, but thank you for the kind words. I'm in a new place. I'm back in Cincinnati, and I'm very happy. So thank you.
Let's go. Hey, Blaz, will you read off some of these super chats? I'll be right back.
Okay, have fun peeing.
Okay. Thank you.
Tiki the Hut.
I gotta go pee.
Bye. Tiki the Hut for $2 says, speaking of physical media, look at Skullgirls. Yeah, there's that whole lawsuit going on. But I looked it up this morning. I couldn't really find any news based about it in the last
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's this new lawsuit for the game. D. Rockwell, member for 3 months. Haven't bought anything from Funimation in years since they overcharged me the Outlaw Star Collection. Fuck Funimation. Alright, 60 watt. Says YouTube video is pretty bad to be honest. I can stream at 4K to my phone, but I'm capped at 480 on my PC. Oh, that's weird. Samurai Vader for $5. I recommend Discotech Media for physical anime BD. I'm guessing Blu-ray disc?
Yeah.
They probably subtitle and remaster anime if possible. Lupin Season 1 got a remaster, and Berserk. I saw that Berserk is doing a whole massive collection remaster.
And And Lupin the Third's my favorite. I think Samurai Vader. Oh, I know Samurai Vader. I'm gonna pick those up. But my complaint about anime physical media is that it's so overpriced. We're talking $60 for half a season.
Anime is so overpriced. Like even the mangas and stuff.
And it always has been. Like I said earlier at the beginning of the show, I grew up when they were bringing a lot of this stuff like in droves to America, and Dragon Ball Z was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. But at $30 for a disc that featured 1 or 2 episodes, and the tape was that price too, I couldn't do it as a kid. I was in grade school, and if your mom gives you money, it's like you get $30 for 60 minutes of Dragon Ball Z, or you get a cheap video game. Like I always took the games, so that's why anime is just not a. Yeah, you can go back and replay it. I love these shows, but how much of Dragon Ball Z's filler? What if you bought a disc that's 2 filler episodes? Then you're out $30.
Mm-hmm. Cladix says digital air free. Oh, fee. Digital air fee. I was gonna say what?
It's like Spaceballs in here.
Oh, hi Craig. Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was great. It was good
That
stuff.
was really enthusiastic.
I needed that. Tell you what, you drink a couple of these every morning. We need a new pee emote. It's just pee.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Baloney says you're gonna pay for that digital nothing you just took from my digital nothing store.
That's right.
True. A feline name for JJ for $5. Give me that digital air booth from Craig and Balb's room. Balb's? I'm thinking he means Balb's.
Thanks for JJ.
Craig. Melodic Method
Look at
$69. Vader's Robo Schwann's NFT when?
I could draw it if you guys want to do one for the channel.
I think we're okay.
Vader's Robo Schlong? Yeah, hey, listen, if you want to make a Robo Dick, we'll make it an emote for a day or two. It'll be great.
Locals exclusive.
Let's go.
M16 Mojo for $5. Vader's pee-pee was melted by Lick Hot Mama. Okay. Dr. Evil.
I think he meant liquid hot magma.
Magma.
Okay, I was gonna say Mama?
That's right.
A feline name for JJ for $2. Fine, this gets me to the full $7.
Let's go. I wasn't gonna say it. The $7 digital air in the digital bottle.
Woo!
That's awesome.
Dan, Evil Robot for $5. I never bought anything digital. I watch my anime movies and series on Blu-rays and DVD, but I do have streaming services like Crunchyroll and Netflix. See, so do I, but I don't pay for them. I just leech off of other people.
Best way to
That's
do
awesome. Hey, look at that. Look at that right there. That's awesome. Melodic Method, thank you again for the $69 super chat. That is spectacular. You get the bottom scroll there on the bottom, which is great.
Yeah.
And Boo came in and says, you don't pay for the disc, you pay for the license, and none of the money you pay for localized content goes to the studios or the author. Buy from Japan. Thank you, Boog. Appreciate that. Always love to hear everyone's thoughts on this stuff. All right, let's move on, guys. Thank you again for your support today. It's been spectacular. Let's continue on and keep kicking ass. Do us a favor, hit the thumbs up button while you guys are tuning in. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. Our goal, by the way, is stay Thursday. Shit, today is Thursday.
It's the best day of the week.
It is. Why is that? Because you're on the show?
Oh, we just do our show on Thursday nights, and I love Thursdays because I get to hang out with my friends and do this. So that's why I love Thursdays. Plus, I never went to school on Fridays in college, so it's been a long Thursday's been my Friday for like 15 years.
Love that. Well, our goal is by tomorrow at this time to hit 66,666 subscribers during the show, because that's when Melanie Mack is on, and she's a God-fearing young lady, and I would like to see her burst into flames when we hit the mark of the devil tomorrow.
I will be watching that show because I love a good spontaneous combustion.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't, right? So, anyways, we'll see what happens. I think these are important things, important goals that we have on a day-to-day basis. Hey, do you guys want to see a giant hypocrite?
Yeah.
Let's do it. But before we get to that, Master Vader came in with a gifted membership. You're not a hypocrite. You're a gifter. Love that. Thank you so much, Master Vader. That puts us at 1 for the day. By the way, in addition to the 31 that have been gifted over on Kick, we appreciate that. That's spectacular. And hey, check this out, Blabs.
Blobs the tower turret for $5. Craig, remember no man ever regretted shaking it too many times, but every man has regretted shaking it too few. I like pickles, yay!
I appreciate that Blabs the Tower Tard has to tell me that. Thank you, Blabs. By the way, can you make this face when you do that, please? From here on out, Blabs, just make that face whenever you
I
do
don't know
it.
how to do that. See, I was like in a mid-smile, and then I was just making faces.
Eat a lemon.
Every
better?
time.
There you go.
Sorry,
Big lemons, like.
Blobs the tower tard.
There you go. Love that. Love that. That's great. And holy crap, Retromeister came in. Wow, holy crap, with 50 and a 50. That means
Whoa.
2 50s.
Retromeister is awesome.
Yes, Retromeister is legit. You know what? That's crazy. That's insane. Retromeister. Blaz, read those off really quick while I do some writing.
Yes, Retromeister says, "Sup, fellow scrollers? Jeff, I really appreciate your incredible feedback to my super chats last week and hope we talk more soon. I did previously some videos about the subject of cultural sexism and vandalism if you want to check them out sometime." And then...
Shoot me them in an email. I'd love to check them out, Retromeister, and hang out anytime. It was my pleasure to talk about Batman and the importance of these fictional characters to people's lives. It's my passion too.
And then he continues saying, "The Disneyverse idea reminds me of the game where the player has to save its universe from the forgotten, which is a metaphor for what's really happening to Disney itself on those who don't respect its legacy IPs, rather than destroy them from within." Damn, that's
Wow,
true.
It is.
deep.
That's how they operate.
Deep.
Retromeister knows what's up. Especially, that's what we talk about a lot on our channel too. So it's great
Oh,
to see you,
shit.
Retromeister.
There's a third one!
Good God!
Thanks, Retro. Okay, he says, "Also this merger between Crunchy and Fun is a fuck you to true anime fans. It just says, in short, they're gatekeeping IPs, ruin localization, or attack those that don't join the groupthink, like Vic, who is the prime example of being character assassinated." Wow. Damn.
I remember all of that story. Was it Vic Mignogna is his name?
Yeah, Vic Mignogna, yeah.
A couple of the YouTube friends I have either interviewed him or hung out with him at cons or interacted with him. I just knew the story.
Yeah.
Man, can we just get
Thanks,
some crowns,
Retro.
please, in the chat for Retromeister? Just coming and going in hot, man. That is insane. That is ridiculous.
Thanks for hanging out, Retromeister.
Thank you.
Jeez Louise.
Damn.
Spectacular. Can't tell you how much we appreciate that. Yes, all of the crowns, please. Wow, that is ridiculous. Okay, and then he followed up with one more 10 at the end. Just a nice little sweet kiss at top. Says, Blabs, you can read that off too.
"I'm a big My Hero Academia fan, but I refuse to watch next season on their platform, for I stand with Vic. And Disney and KK is narcissistic and ignorant, but needs to be sued by Gina Carano. I need to say more. True."
Thank you,
KK is Kathleen
Retromeister.
Kennedy, if anyone doesn't know. Context.
Ridiculous. That is crazy. Wow. Epsilon came in, says, "We need legislation over digital media ownership." I think you're right. I think that is something that's going to pop up here in the coming years for sure. I think that is definitely a discussion that's going to need to be had for sure. But at the end of the day, it goes back to, you will own nothing and be happy. Matthew says, "Nintendo discussed physical media in an investor meeting. Nintendo will be the last man standing when it comes to physical media. I'm most sure of this." Thank you, Matthew. Man, that's awesome. Wow, that's ridiculous. All right, let's check out the giant hypocrite here. This is the best. I've heard of this guy. I don't really know who he is, but he's playing video. I think he's a political guy, but he's playing video games in this instance. And he's talking about stuff. I guess he's like just an IRL streamer. His name is Vosh. Are you familiar with Vosh? Have you heard of this guy before? Okay, I've heard. I think he's like I don't know his politics. I don't really care, but I know that he's like some dude, right? And a lot of people watch him. And he was streaming. It looks like Metroid Prime Remastered. And let me just say, this was quickly scrubbed from the internet after this happened. And we're not going to watch this full thing because I don't think I can show the full thing on YouTube. But we're just going to...
Copyright reasons of the music?
Not copyright, not necessarily copyright. but what is shown and on this.
I think we might be able to get away with it. It's very small.
Okay, but I know at the tail end of this it's shown in more detail. So in this clip in particular. But anyways, here we go. Let's just check this out.
What is it about anime that attracts Nazis? In this case, it's literally the pedophilia angle. It's that anime has a ton of f***ing lolly shit, and a ton of Nazis are hyper insecure in their masculinity, and they want like a trad wife, or whatever, untainted by feminism, that they can control and manipulate because they have no other experiences.
That sounds like the most unintelligent person trying to speak intelligently.
Just a bunch of big words, like buzzwords.
Like, what an asshat. He's over here like, oh my God. Like I said, I don't know. I just want to hear all that again because that was awesome. Like, that was what a bunch of gibberish and trying to say big words while saying absolutely nothing.
What is it about anime that attracts Nazis?
And by the way, he's totally bashing all anime fans.
In this case, it's literally the pedophilia angle. It's that anime has a ton of f***ing lolly shit, and a ton of Nazis are hyper insecure in their masculinity, and they want like a trad wife, or whatever, untainted by feminism, that they can control and manipulate because they have no other experiences. And anime is perfect for people with that kind of psychosis.
Okay, so he just went in talking about all this anime stuff and blah, 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 and anime fans are idiots and blah, blah, blah. Here we go.
Few moments later.
You can see this is an example of the kind of structure that I'm referring to.
Oh, okay, there we are. Okay, so if you missed that, which I hope you did, it opened up his folder, and it had a lot of saved pictures of all sorts of corn, if you will, and it pretty much this thing, and that corn was based on anime, of all things, as well as some other ridiculously not safe for work things. Color me shocked that it's almost like goes to the playbook of like just the giant hypocritical nature of these people who are saying you're a bad person while doing exactly what they say is bad, but exposed, if you will. I don't know, Jeff. Your thoughts on giant hypocrite looking at porn anime porn while exposing himself as an anime porn lover?
I think you kind of hit the nail on the head with that descriptor for this situation. I laughed when I was going through the show notes. I was like, all right. And then that happens. And it reminded me of other online situations where people, staunchly say one thing and then they get exposed to be something else. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Big hypocrite. I don't begrudge anybody who's into stuff, but this guy's a hypocrite. I don't really have anything else to say besides hilarious. I mean, you expose yourself on the internet after you take such a hard-nosed stance on something, and then you're a part of it. So there's nothing else to say besides he's a hypocrite.
He's just a huge piece of shit, in all honesty, because he's lumping people from all over the world, male and female, into one little category of Nazis. Fuck him.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Fuck him.
Man, that's ridiculous. He would like that if you were an anime character, Blabs. But that's it, Orthodox Monk says, I've seen enough giant hypocrites. Can we see a giant hippo instead? No. Well, I think one could argue Vosh is the same. I don't know. A giant hippo. Paul says, fun fact, burn victims rarely have their genitals damaged due to them urinating themselves from the pain. Huh.
I did
Thanks,
not know
Paul.
that.
So maybe there is an opportunity for, as the poll says, Vader having a regular dick as opposed to a robot dick.
Good for
Who
him,
knows?
Annie. Good for you.
By the way,
Annie,
the poll
are you
right
okay?
The poll right now with nearly 800 votes, does Vader have a robot dick? Currently sitting at a sweet 56%. This is going to be a great poll when we put it up. This needs to be put up both on YouTube as well as on X. I think, Blabs. We need very. This is an intense storyline of today's show, for sure. Hal says, "Well, now we know why Vosh likes it. He told us." Thank you, Hal. Appreciate that. And Rebound says, this goon argued for no age of consent. No, I did not. And okay. Sal says this Vosh legitimately supports CP. Dude's disgusting. Okay, well, I'm sorry we talked about him on today's show. What a fucking asshole. Let's move on, shall we? Let's move on. Hey, let's move on to something more fun, and that's the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog spinoff, a 6-episode streaming event coming to Paramount Plus, built around Knuckles. Jeff, are you a big Sonic fan?
No, I remember when it came out. I liked the cartoon, and I liked the original era of Sonic, but I was always a Nintendo kid, so we had Super Nintendo and N64. I don't think we got a secondhand Genesis from somebody in like 95. So Sega franchises have always been kind of cool, but never my top priority. I liked the Sonic movie. I never did see the second one though, but I liked what I saw.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I think both of them were really good. And, there's going to be... I don't want to watch this just from a copyright perspective. Once again, this is something we'll be able to do more over on Locals. I do like this, though. The idea of, like, a sign...
What do you like to do for fun?
That's pretty cool. Like a nice little reference to the game and stuff. But, yeah, this is... It looks like they got all the people back to be actually in the little 6-episode miniseries, as we can't scroll through things on X, but, that's how it goes. But yeah, I think anytime you see something like this is really, really exciting. I love to watch. I saw the first 2 Sonic movies. I liked them both. The third one's coming out this year. And this is going to be released. I'm guessing this takes place between the second and third movies, because this is coming out on April, and the third movie comes out later this year, I believe. So it's like a nice little 2.5 version of the story. So yeah, I don't know. Just are there any video game characters or any video game series that you'd like to see adapted over to a movie or any sort of media that hasn't been already?
So Legend of Zelda is my favorite franchise, but I'm really hesitant to buy into a Zelda movie, especially when it's coming from Avi Arad and the people at Sony. That being said, I'd like to see a Metroid movie, like a horror, pretty much Alien, but with Metroid, or Samus. I think that would work well. I would like to see a Metal Gear Solid movie done very close to the spirit and tone of what the game is, not trying to modernize it or change it, just very hard-nosed espionage, tactical stuff.
Right.
It'd be cool. I do think we're in this weird golden age of video game adaptations, because in the 90s, when you adapted a video game, they always sucked. Mario, Double Dragon... With the exception of Mortal Kombat, I will stand by Mortal Kombat is still the best video game movie. I love the first Mortal Kombat movie, man. It follows the traditional 3-act structure. It's got a great hero's journey. The fight scenes, while not as violent as the games would later be, they're pretty high energy. It just doesn't have gore, and the CGI is bad. Other than that, I will still stand by Mortal Kombat. But long story short, we've had Halo, didn't watch it. Twisted Metal, liked it. Now we got Sonic. Five Nights at Freddy's, the movie. Gaming stuff is now, for as much as people want to talk about the decline of superheroes have had their time. They're kind of cooling off, and now it's game adaptations. People are always hungry for something new, and this is that new thing.
Man, and that's a question for the chat. What is the video game adaptation to a movie that you have not, or a video game franchise to a movie that you haven't seen that you'd like to see? Because games, you saw the Uncharted game get switched over to a movie. It got adapted over, and it had Mark Wahlberg in it and all that. And it's okay, that's cool. But I think a lot of modern games is you're almost playing a movie, so you can actually play the movie rather than have to watch it. But there's a lot out there that I think people would still like to see. I mean, hell, Tetris got a video game to movie adaptation, which, by the way, not that bad. Pretty fun. I mean, it wasn't the greatest movie in the world, but it was okay. It was fun to watch. Josh came in and says, with the $10 Rumble rant, says, had both Crunchyroll and Funimation until Funimation was bought last year, canceled Funimation last year. Crunchyroll is good for simulcast. Buy physical media for what I want to have. Oh, that's good for you, Josh. What a stud. Get that physical media. Get that physical. Elsid says, there's a clip out there where Vosh said, look, we've all jacked it to lollies before. No, we haven't. I don't even know what that means, but thank you, Elsid. Yeah, what's that?
That's fine. Let's move on.
How do I not know what that is? Is that the little anime girls? Is that what it is? Oh.
It will.
Thanks, Blabs. Sal came in and says Zelda, Metroid, Metal Gear Solid would be better as a series. Man, I agree, especially when you have these long form stories that have been lasting for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. There's so much in there, so much depth. But you can see when things are done wrong, as in the case of like Halo, where people are like all you had to do was not take off his helmet. That's it. Just don't take off his helmet, and you're good.
Have a good story.
Yes. Yep. Hayden came in and says, they made a Metal Gear Solid movie, though. It's called Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots, and it's one of my favorite movies ever. That's right. Thank you, Hayden. Kalichi came in and says, we need a Bayonetta movie. Bring back sexy women. Thank you, Kalichi. Appreciate that. 60 Watt says, nothing can beat 1993 Super Mario Brothers. Let's go. Thanks, 60 Watt.
Everything beats Super Mario Brothers from 1993.
Oh
I saw it in theaters as a kid, and I was like, what is this? I thought we walked into the wrong movie.
Mario on acid.
Everybody,
Pretty
what
much.
the hell? What are we watching? What is it? Boog came back, says Rory is built in filter against normies and woke infiltrators. You don't have to like/watch it, but if you want to censor and remove it, go get Robloxed. Huh? Thanks, Boog. Appreciate it. You obviously know your anime stuff for sure. New poll in the chat, please, Blabs. Mm-hmm. Is the 1993 Super Mario Brothers movie good? Just really wide and open. Good is up for interpretation. Okay, it's a really great conversation point right there. Jeff, you want to stick around a little bit longer, or do you got to go?
I'm happy to stick around. I got this shelf and stuff built to be on this stream, so I'm very happy to be here. So,
wow, that's awesome. That's great. Hell yeah.
This was an empty wall for a minute, so
love that. Well, thanks, man. That's wicked. Thanks for popping on. Quick reminder, you guys.
To say. Our Vader poll has ended with 795 votes. Does Vader have a robotic dick? 56% said yes. 43% say no. Carry on.
All right. Now we know, which is
knowing's
great.
half the battle.
Right. Well, let's keep on moving, guys. If you guys want to stick around with us a little bit longer, let's keep going. Let's go over. We've had a big day talking about digital items, so let's continue that theme here. As, by the way, I have ad block on. I don't know how I have ad block on, and I'm still getting these crazy ass ads, but I'm going to share my screen anyways. This is an article from Games Radar, and it says in-game currencies are quote are fictions created by game publishers. It says GTA 5 and NBA 2K game publisher in an attempt to dodge a lawsuit. Now, I've not heard about this lawsuit. But this is their quote, fictions created by game publishers in a rebuttal to a lawsuit. But this apparently has been going on for a while. Take-Two and 2K Games, which developed and published the NBA 2K series, were sued last year. The lawsuit accused the companies of effectively stealing virtual currency, that's NBA 2K's in-game currency, from players when servers of the game are turned off forever. When any game servers are turned off, any unspent in-game currencies vanish forever. Take-Two and 2K Games have responded to the lawsuit. The pair claim that VC is not a plaintiff's property. If that's not you don't own it, I don't know what does. I mean, they're literally saying you do not own it. And that in-game VC are fictions created by game publishers subject to the publisher's terms of service and user agreements. The company's lawyers are now petitioning a court to dismiss the lawsuit entirety. I mean, they're literally saying you don't own shit. I really don't know what to say about that outside of this. This goes along with today's theme of buy physical. And when you buy these costumes and shit, like, think of them as just this thing that you don't necessarily own. I don't know. Jeff, have you bought any when you play games? Do you have any sort of digital items or anything like that? I mean, I certainly have bought digital items, but I've never thought that I never thought that I actually owned them, I guess. Maybe I...
Well, no, I haven't... So when it comes to collecting, I will spend money and not a big deal. But when it comes to gaming and digital stuff, because it's not like you pay for an experience, not something that I can go back and use over and over again. So for me, no, the answer is no. I never buy digital stuff. I will buy deluxe editions of the one wrestling game each year so I can get all the, wrestlers like The Rock and all these people. But that's it. Like if I play Call of Duty, I bought the one on PlayStation 4, like Black Ops a couple years back. Nothing. I buy the disc, I put it in. When people stop playing the maps that are on the disc, I just go to a different game. I never upgrade. I'm not cheap. I just don't see the value in it. I feel like a lot of DLC or this stuff is you use real money to just get good. Like the GTA 5 in the article, you're paying for shark cards to get high-end cars and tanks and stuff on the online. It takes away the balance of fun. And so either you got to get in on day one and really figure out the system, or you got to just buy your way in. And I work from here. I don't have time to spend 9 hours a day on a game. I don't want to spend $400 in DLC or any money in DLC. I don't get it.
Blabs, do you have any digital items?
I mean, video games, digital items, but other than that, I buy everything else physical. Occasionally, some movies.
In your games, do you have any digital, digital shirts or pants or anything go on with the avatar?
I mean, I don't buy skins. I don't do any of these buying. I'm just like, I don't give a shit. I'm not going to spend money on a video game besides the actual video game itself. I don't buy any of these extra stuff. Unless it was Hogwarts Legacy, but that's like an exception. Or like the Lego Star Wars video game, which to me wasn't even good. And I was like, this is a waste of money. But yeah, no, I buy everything physical. Everything.
My biggest, I would say from a digital standpoint, the game that I've supported the most is definitely Apex Legends. But I think in the thousands of hours that I played Apex Legends, I probably spent maybe $30, like lifetime. And because what happens is you buy the first pass, and then you're continuously rewarded with like points and currency along the way, and then you use that currency to buy the next season pass. So I think I've only probably maybe 30, maybe $40. But I played
some really nice skins on Apex. Some of them are shit, but
yeah,
like that new Conduit skin,
I don't know,
the Royal one. So cool.
But that's also, I didn't pay anything for the game, right? It's a free game. I played it for so many hours, which is why I don't necessarily feel bad about. I see it as supporting the company. I realize I'm supporting EA and supporting this giant company. I get it, but I feel like I've got my money's worth of that, and that's the way I see it. I don't look at it as I own this. But that's just me for sure. So yeah, I don't know how much more clear they can say it. Is like this is not real. This currency that you buy, it's all fake. Just give us the money. Just give us the money. Let's continue on. Hey, check it out, Blabs. Let's see your face.
It's like I'm eating like a lemon.
Yeah.
Blabs a tower for $5. Would love to see an MSG TV show about the original boss and her units in World War II.
I don't think you need to say Blabs the Tower Tar.
I do. That's part of the character.
No, or just say me. Just say me for
$2.
Scarfy came in, says Vosh must be faking it at this point. I'm expecting him to retire and announce he was on the right playing a parody of Bread Tubers. Thanks, Scarfy. Appreciate that. And Retromeister came back, says, I would love to see Universal do a Star Fox movie with the animation as Rocket Raccoon to compete with Star Wars, Star Trek, which both have unfortunately gone woke now. Thanks, Retromeister. We once again really appreciate your support today. Spectacular stuff. Star Fox would be a really fun series for sure.
I'd watch that.
Emperor Nero did nothing wrong. Came and says, while I agree that Lolly and Lolicon are weird, but all comparing fictional content to real, gives disservice to actual victims of SA. I will defend lollies and lolicons because freedom of expression is only as strong as the weakest link. There you go. Almond John says, I buy DLC for new Street Fighter characters, but that's mostly it. Thanks, Almond John. Appreciate that. All right. We got one more thing it's kind of been sitting in our to-do list all week, and I thought we could maybe do one more reaction. This is from the show Hot Ones, and it had Matt Damon on it. And we've talked about this, the state of Hollywood and the state of movies. That people say, yeah, they don't make movies like they used to. And Matt Damon, eloquently, while shoving hot wings in his mouth, actually does a very good job of describing why they don't make movies like they used to. Have you seen this clip before, Jeff?
I have, because I have asked myself that question literally hundreds of times. Why don't they make movies like they used to, like in the 90s? And now Matt Damon has an answer.
Matt Damon eloquently answers this. Here we go.
So I think a scenario lots of viewers can relate to is sitting on the couch on a Friday night, going through the streaming services, cycling through the movies and thinking to themselves, they're not making movies for me anymore. As somebody who's been intimately involved in movie making for 30 years, what are the macro Hollywood conditions behind that sentiment?
Real quick, why are there two tables between them?
That is so weird.
Like, does Matt Damon just not want to be close to the host? Because are they doing like the
still doing
6 foot thing?
Distance, yeah, the social distance bullshit.
That's interesting. Anyways, that's the first thing I noticed. So stupid.
Well, so what happened was the DVD was a huge part of our business, of our revenue stream, and technology has just made that obsolete. And so the movies that we used to make, you could afford to not make all of your money when it played in the theater because you knew you had the DVD coming behind the release, and 6 months later you'd get a whole nother chunk. It would be like reopening the movie almost. And when that went away, that changed the type of movies that we could make. I did this movie Behind the Candelabra, and I talked to a studio executive who explained it was a $25 million movie. I would have to put that much into print and advertising, right, to market it, what we call P&A. So I'd have to put that in P&A. So now I'm in $50 million. I have to split everything I get with the exhibitor, right, the people who own the movie theaters. So I would have to make $100 million before I got into profit. And the idea of making $100 million on a story about like this love affair between these two people, yeah, I love everyone in the movie, but that's suddenly a massive gamble in a way that it wasn't in the 1990s when they were making all those kind of movies, the kind of movies that I loved and the kind of movies that were my bread and butter.
I thought that's a really interesting and well thought out and very like black and white way to say like, well, a major part of the money that we used to make isn't there anymore because Netflix and Amazon Prime and Disney Plus. And once again, going back to the theme of why physical media is actually important today, the idea of the production cost. You invest $25 million in a movie and you need to make $100 million back. You're not really investing $25 million. You're investing, more or less $100 million into it. That's crazy. I don't know, Jeff. Your thoughts. Fire away.
Well, I have seen this clip. Obviously, Matt Damon is a movie maker, so he understands this stuff, but it really makes sense from that standpoint because I talk about how ever since the iPhones come out, we've reached this point of like, there's a sameness where it's like phones kind of look the same, cars look the same, clothes haven't really evolved in a long time. We're stuck in this window, and the movies line up with that too, where like everything's kind of the same type of movie because they can't take the risks because they're so expensive to make. I mean, how Transformers looked like this movie, which looked like that movie, which looked like that movie. There's this weird homogenization. And it comes from, when these movies are so exorbitantly expensive, you basically economically have to do what you can make money back on. And it sucks artistically because I like to have the artistic freedom to do what I want. If I want to put this in a book or try this or, experiment with this style of drawing, cool. Movies don't have that luxury anymore. Like, I argue that, and there's a book on this, but there's a book called Best Movie Year Ever. I've always said 99's the best year. That's where you had these experimental films. That's where you had stuff, even though it's not experimental, but like The Talented Mr. Ripley, where a movie could make X at the box office and then on home video make double that. Mm-hmm. That's just an adverse effect of all these things. And I understand we have bigger real world problems and a lack of interesting movies, but this is an effect of trying to convenience sometimes cuts you down in ways you don't expect. And the convenience of having Netflix and all the streaming services really takes away from the ability to have a wider variety of entertainment. That's why everything's the same these days.
Do you feel we'll ever get back to a place where physical media is, I don't know, not... I don't think we'll ever get to a point to where it was like, in the 80s and 90s where there were video stores and you rented the videos and stuff, just from a convenience standpoint. But do you think we'll ever get back to a point to where physical media is at least a line item when it comes to the production cost, or we can they can go back and making those movies that may be seen as artistic and may be able to find that extra revenue from DVD or physical sales?
Sadly, I don't think we'll ever, as a society, get back to that, because everything, if you look at like the grand scale of it, everything's about convenience and people want it now. We've had decades of people being conditioned to the digital landscape where stuff just shows up instantly. It doesn't matter. We may be used to a movie taking 6 months to a year coming out after the theaters to get on home video. Now it's 60 days and it's on streaming, and people are just like, and everything that you want is now brought to you. Now, of course, you could buy physical discs on the internet and that thing, but I think that's where physical media will live as online boutique merchandise from like Vinegar Syndrome or Arrow Video, these places that are going to release big, widely released films like A Weird Science or The Warriors, but they're never going to go back to Target or Walmart. Like, Target has wiped out a lot of their stuff. Best Buy just got rid of their physical media because if a store's not carrying it, and people aren't buying it in droves online anymore, I don't think a studio can even... I think they should just put streaming as a line item and try to figure out how to balance a loss or charge more for a license. But I don't think we'll ever go backwards because convenience is the factor in all of this.
Just the idea of having to get the DVD or, get the DVD out of the case. Oh, I got to put it in the machine. I got to change my input on my TV. Oh, it takes an extra 2 minutes. Oh, man, I hear that. Well, I'll tell you what. I think that's actually a really great place to stop today. I know we went a little bit long, but I want to remind everybody that we'll be back tonight in about 4 hours and 15 minutes for the AI panel, the AI discussion. That's going to be a hot one, man. It's going to be a hot one. But I would like to remind everybody, if you guys do enjoy Jeff, you can find him over on the World Class Bullshitters channel, which, once again, hit that subscribe button over there and join them. You're going to be live tonight, huh?
Yeah, we have our show at 8:30 p.m., so we're going to be talking about, well, I'm not going to tell you because some of it's a surprise, but we have our show tonight at 8:30. We talk about a lot of general pop culture, and we have a lot of fun. We have running gags. A lot of the people that showed up in your chat are our audience as well, like Retro Meister. So it's a great community. And folks, we're on our way to 200K. We're growing. Now that I've been back, I finished Woke Busters. Things keep moving forward for us. So be on the lookout for more from me. And, if you want to support the art, go to stealingsolo.com and get a copy of the book. It's Star Wars a group of disgruntled Star Wars fans kidnap Harrison Ford and force him to remake Star Wars in their basement. Woke Busters is the Ghostbusters parody of today's society. That'll be available around the launch of the movie, so be on the lookout for that Kickstarter. And just follow us on all the platforms: Twitch, X, Rumble, YouTube, and find out where WCBS is going. And I'd just like to take this time to thank you, Craig. Blabs, it was a pleasure to meet you. This is awesome. Like I told you at the beginning, man, I followed you back on the Screw Attack days, and I've been excited. I've been thinking about this all week. Like I said, this was a blank wall. This is now shelves deep of stuff, and I'm just going to keep on going with it. So thank you for having me. It was a blast.
Love that. Well, that's awesome. Love to have you back again in the future. You did a great job today.
Thank you.
Before we roll out, I want to remind everybody, Mimi came in, says, I assumed that was already the law with a VC. Yes. Thank you, Mimi. Appreciate that. And M16 Mojo says, plot twist. Was it James's BBC or Hayden's SWC? What was it, Blabs?
Both.
Both. Wow. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Another quick reminder that right now over on the locals page, that's sidescrollers.locals.com. I'm actually going to put this in the link in the chat. Those who are supporters over on locals will actually have access to the Maven Huffman interview. Right now, you can go watch it. I encourage everybody to do so. Would love for you guys to go check it out. If nothing else, just make an account, hit the follow button over there. It'll be made available to non-members before it hits YouTube, because we're going to continue to push that like it's our little homepage moving ahead. So go watch the Maven interview now. Do us a favor, guys. Hit the thumbs up button on your way. And if you're new, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. We'd love for you guys to join us on a day-to-day basis, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Central Time. Up until whenever we want to go. Once again, come back tonight when we're back at it again for the AI panel. Tonight, AI debate. Tonight, 5 o'clock Central Time. That is in 4 hours and 10 minutes. We look forward to seeing you guys then. Jeff, thank you again for coming on today, man. Really fun.
Pleasure.
I have memes.
Blabs. Oh, we got memes, Blabs? Well, you need
Yes.
to tell me before I do the
I
outro.
tried to. I had this set up for 10 minutes.
Go!
Also, I just want to point out, somebody made a Blabs Fatality account, which is amazing.
Love that.
Okay, here we go. So, true pop culture. The Back to the Future remakes are inevitable, Craig.
Man, I love it. If you ever want to talk Back to the Future,
Ah!
I'd love to talk Back to the Future with you.
Wait, you
like
know
my
Back to the
favorite
Future,
movie.
Craig?
Back to the Future? Yeah.
Well, I have to check with you. Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lord
It's
of the Rings.
like Back to the Future is the greatest movie of all time.
Incorrect.
And the best thing about it, they're not going to touch it. It's going to be a
Let's
perfect.
hope. I'm
Nah,
not gonna
nah.
touch it.
If they touch that, I will burn down the movie studio.
So
Phrasing YouTube, we are phrasing here. It is not real. Don't shut us down.
In Minecraft.
Yeah.
We're going to burn it down in Minecraft.
In Palworld.
In Palworld, yes. It's going to be
I gotta
ridiculous.
download that.
I will absolutely join you in Minecraft to burn it down and watch everybody die in Minecraft. Man, I love it. If you ever want to talk back.
Okay, so here's
hey,
that.
Hey, Blab, sometimes you got to slap a bitch. That's right.
Are
Sorry.
you slapping me now? What'd I do?
No. I'm just saying if they were to remake Back to the Future.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, well, listen, Craig had to go pee-pee.
That's right.
And then we are part of the Donkey Kong Country, too.
Nice. I'm playing that right now over on Plays, yes.
I want to point
Good
out
game.
that Craig is the one locked up. And here we have it, folks.
Man, what if we just totally didn't think about it? What if it was a lightsaber? Is it not a robo dick? You know?
And also,
How do you guys
Vader
make these
now.
so fast?
Oh, we got the best
we have
memers
the
in the
Legion
world.
of Memers, man.
Yeah.
You do. It's wonderful.
Ta-da!
Great stuff.
That is it. There are our memes today.
All right, great job, guys. Thank you very much for your support. You guys are spectacular. Way to get on that. The memers are on it. Love that. As pointed out in the chat, the force is strong with that one for sure. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. We'll see you guys in about 4 hours when we're back at it again. Going crazy with the AI debate. Join us with Mr. Grant Gregory, Shadiversary, Reagan Lodge, and George Alexopoulos.
Yeah.
Right, Blabs?
Yeah.
All right. Let's get out of here, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. Have a great day, guys. See you in 4 hours. Bye-bye.